Hello everyone, and welcome to the 13th episode of The Wonder of Star Wars The Old Republic. As usual, I'm with Javiik, my Sith Inquisitor. And our story on Dromund Kaas is coming to a head. We are about to go confront Cathar Sith and break into his lair. One really cool thing that I noticed when I logged into my character today is that it is finally time for us to pick up our speeder. As a free-to-play player, I could not get speeder piloting until level 20, but I am now level 22 from all the quests we did the last little while. So, ta-da! I now have the ability to ride a speeder. But the funny part is I don't actually have a speeder yet. There's a couple different places I could pick one up. On the fleet is probably a good choice, so maybe we'll pick one up after we leave Dromund Kaas, because we haven't really needed one that badly so far. So if you remember, we snuck under the unfinished Colossus and we got a sacred text archaeological fragment called the Transition Relic. It's great spiritual importance for the Transitions, and we're going to use it to have them either leave or even possibly follow us. And they were previously part of Darth Scotia's employ. Here they are. My master, the soft-skinned one, the toy of Lord Zash, approaches. What would you have us do, my master?
Nothing yet. What makes this slave so bold as to enter my chambers? Tell me, slave, are you insane, or do you have a death wish?
My master wants you dead, and I must comply.
Skisk.
Yes, my master.
Kill him.
It will be our pleasure, my master. Oh, we have a little special something in our relic. I have the option to say, is this yours? Obey me. And enough fighting. I think, I really want to use the obey me line, because it definitely seems like a very fun idea to have a horde of Transitions at my beck and call. But, I feel like Javiik wouldn't pull that line, especially because he was a slave not too long ago himself. So let's try a peaceful resolution.
This doesn't need to end in violence.
Kambal, of course, doesn't approve. The tablet! It has the tablet! Skisk, my brother, what should we do? It has the tablet. We must obey.
Clever. Zash must have stayed up many a night to think of that one. I suppose you'll be sending my bodyguards away now, or maybe you'll order them to kill me.
I could let some Transition fight, but I feel like Darth Scotia would have zero problems killing his own bodyguards.
You're free to leave anytime.
The mechanical one will pay for enslaving us. Oh, they're gonna help me anyway. Their deaths, I guess.
You shouldn't have done that. The bodyguards, they're nothing. Show. But you subverted my authority, took my slaves from me, and that makes me angry. And killing you will be over too soon. No, I think you're going to have to suffer first.
Ah! Don't we have to use our special thing on him? The thing to make him less powerful? I feel like we definitely probably shouldn't have fought him until we did that first. I'm wondering if Darth Scotia has anything to do, any relation to Lord Grathan, because we saw so many quests to do with cybernetics and human enhancement on Lord Grathan's estate, and Darth Scotia, I mean, look at this guy. He's clearly got some cybernetics, and a lot of them. I wonder if he ever worked with him. Crushing darkness. Lord Scotia, it is kind of funny sometimes. Oh, I shouldn't have used that. The fights, because Javiik would be very, very scared of Darth Scotia, and Darth Scotia is very powerful. in terms of the game. Oh, here's the cyber neutralizer. Can I use it? Oh, yes, I can. Oh, look, he fell asleep. I guess I could have used that earlier in the fight. I figured it would give me a better prompt to use it, just like the tablet. Okay, Scotia, let's go.
What is this? Ha! Did you... Zash! Zash! You've killed me!
Don't blame Zash. This is all me.
Mindless. You don't know what Zash can do. Think of how many years she must have spent plotting my death. She will kill you, just like she's killed me.
Wow. I'm really wondering what would have happened if I hadn't used that neutralizer. Would the cutscene have been different? I don't know. Would have been interesting either way.
Zash would never do such a thing.
Javik's getting too attached to Lord Zash. He should know better by now. Everyone will betray you! Okay, no one's actually betrayed him so far. Other than just in general getting enslaved, but that wasn't a specific person betraying him, that was just kind of the entire empire. And he wasn't even an imperial citizen, so... No, Campbell, I do not want to hear your nonsense about Tulak Horde. So where are we heading? We are going to the Nexus Room Cantina. Right, we are going to go meet Lord Zash. As she said, come see me later. She's not too far from here. There hasn't been a huge amount of news. A lot of the news was last week. But they did once again talk about server merges, and that's something I really wanted to talk about on this episode between quests. Now, in the game, as you may have noticed, there's a whole bunch of different servers. And when the game first came out, there's actually even more. But as less players play the game, it's just a natural kind of progression. MMOs in general get the most population when the game first comes out. Because everyone's hyping for it and waiting for it, and they all log on when the game, like the first couple days the game comes out. And then from there, naturally, most games just dwindle over time until eventually they get sunsetted. So we are nowhere close to getting shut down right now or anything like that, but there is a lot less players than there was when the game first came out. And over time, some of the smaller servers have less and less people on them. Oh my gosh, Campbell. And less and less people are playing on the smaller ones because any new players who join, Google like, what's the best server to join? Which has the highest population? And they'll go join their servers because then it's easier to get group activities together like PvP or flashpoints or operations or just in general finding other people to play with instead of playing on an empty server. So there has been a lot of talk about server merges for like years. Cutscene, Lord Zash.
Well, when I'd heard she'd taken up with a Mandalorian, I was scandalized. Just scandalized.
A Mandalorian? Does nobody value Sith blood these days?
I know. Don't you think so, Zash?
These prattling creatures call themselves Sith. The legacy of Tulak Horde is lost.
I'm sorry, will you excuse me? I need to have a quick chat with my apprentice.
If you must. Now, as I was saying.
Thank the Emperor you've arrived. It doesn't matter how much one drinks. These parties are just dull. I hope you've come to cheer me up.
Oh, maybe. Let's see. Scotia's dead. I think you'll be pleased. Call me Darth Killer. Oh my god, that is the worst line ever.
I have done as you wished and killed the Darth.
Brilliant. Simply brilliant. You have performed magnificently, apprentice. None of this would have been possible without you.
Lord Zash.
Darth Anaton, I'm honored.
You going to introduce me?
Sorry, I'll just be a minute. Don't go anywhere. I have some further instructions for you. As I said, my lord, I'm honored. But why call me?
You have nerve, Zash. Nerve. But I thought you were smarter.
With all respect, Darth Thanaton, I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play ignorant with me, Zash. Scotia's dead, and you killed him.
Scotia? Dead? That's the first I've heard of it. When did this happen?
Just now, Zash, and you know it. What did you expect to gain? His position? His title? You know it doesn't work that way. Where's your discretion?
Discretion? I've been at this party for ages. I may have had a little much to drink, but I'm fairly certain I haven't murdered anyone. Though I have always fancied Scotia's chambers. So much more shelf space.
Zash, I don't want to have this conversation by hollow. Report to my chambers immediately.
Yes, Darth Thanaton. It'll be my pleasure.
What was that all about?
Give me time to talk to Thanaton, and then meet me in Darth Scotia's chambers. And don't worry, you've played your part, now it's time for me to play mine. We did it, apprentice.
Oh wow, I wonder how she's gonna talk her way out of that one. I don't think...
I
mean, she has a really solid alibi that she specifically did not kill Darth Thanaton. Oh, but I guess who's gonna believe that it was me? I'm literally just a very new apprentice. I mean, we've seen personally that Javiik's pretty strong in the Force, but he definitely could not have fought off Scotia all by himself. Scotia is quite a powerful Force user. Let's just ignore the actual in-game combat. I'm a little bit overpowered and a little bit overleveled and have a little bit too many abilities for this quest. But Scotia was only, in the story at least, was only able to be defeated because 1, his transition bodyguards pieced out, and 2, he was highly disabled using the cyborg neutralizer. So, unless anybody knows about that, I don't think the Sith seem to be keen on putting up cybersecurity or anything like that. It seems to be just kind of a thing they don't do, especially in the temples. They like their intrigue. So nobody knows exactly how he died, except that he got his butt kicked. And there was probably lightning and lightsabers involved. So, Sneaky Kitty definitely wasn't the one who did that. I bet you that's exactly what she's gonna argue. And of course the old lady who she was with at the party will be like, oh, she was here the whole time. And she actually was being bored. Oh, we'll talk more about servers after we finish up this chain. This is going to be a bit of a juicy quest and I don't want to interrupt it. Alright, here we go.
There he is. It's Lord Zash's apprentice. Surely he knows.
You wouldn't tell us if you did.
Warpine's Brigan Iswis
More
Buidan.
prattle, it hurts
Still, it
the
doesn't
ears.
hurt to ask, does it?
Colonel, let it rest.
I will not let it rest. Everyone knows Lord Zash was at the party when Scotia was killed, and yet everyone knows she killed him. She somehow devised a way of being in 2 places at once. If I let it rest, we'll all be dead.
She made a Force clone. That was it.
Don't be silly. I'm the one who killed Scotia.
Hey!
Now you're the one who's being silly.
I wouldn't underestimate him, Colonel. He looks dangerous enough to me.
But a Dark Lord of the Sith? He's only an apprentice, Calaveras. Please, you must tell me. How did Zash kill Darth Scotia?
I like how I can continue arguing my side. I could say, I told you, I did it. No one's gonna believe me.
Well, first she got a droid, and then a wig.
Clearly he's not saying anything, Colonel. Let it rest.
Fine then, fine. But I'm warning you, Calaveras. Lord Zash is becoming too powerful too quickly. Since when has anyone in the history of the Sith committed a murder so brazenly, yet made it appear that she was somewhere else the entire time? It's enough to wake the Emperor, I tell you.
So that was right on the money. Obviously, little Javiik was not strong enough to complete the murder. Hey Zash, you're looking like you already own the place.
Perfect timing, apprentice. I just met with that insufferable Thanaton, and I have good news.
Everyone's talking about how you killed Scotia.
Good. Let them talk. They can't prove anything, and it'll drive them mad. And my meeting went exactly as I planned. You would have been proud of me. I went into a reprimand, but I emerged a Darth.
How did that happen?
You've certainly earned it.
I did more than you realize. Nevertheless, what's important is that we are finally free to act. Remember the map you found on Korriban that pointed us to the power of Tulak Horde? The first piece of that artifact, that power, is here on Dromund Kaas. This piece is in the deepest chamber of the Dark Temple. Scotia always hoarded the key to the chamber like a Hutt hoards his credits. Now I have Scotia's title, his chambers, his research, and his key. He always said I would enter the Dark Temple over his rusting corpse. However, I won't be the one to go into the Dark Temple. You will.
I always have to do your dirty work.
Her breath stinks of Sith
Before I
lies.
went to Korriban to choose an apprentice, a furious apparition awakened in the Dark Temple, implacable in its anger, murdering all who trespassed on the innermost chamber. But I had a dream. An apprentice of low origin humbled himself before the apparition, pacifying it. That's why you and your peers were singled out.
I wouldn't put so much faith in dreams.
Dreams are when the Force speaks to us most loudly. I believe what I have foreseen. You must go into the temple and face the apparition. And when you do, I believe that your humility will be the key. Still, I want you to know, I'm not certain you're the one from my dream. I fear I may be sending you to your death.
Don't worry about me, Master.
You're right. You retrieved the holocron from Korriban when no one else could. If that's not proof of your destiny, I don't know what is. Tulak Horde's power awaits us both. We must not lose sight of this goal. Use this glyph to enter the innermost chamber of the Dark Temple. Humble yourself before the apparition, and bring back the piece of the artifact.
Even the great Tulak Horde did not tangle with spirits. Tread lightly, little Sith. Well, that was an interesting twist to the story. There's a whole bunch of unanswered questions right there. For example, what did Lord Zash do, say, or threaten with to have Lord Thanaton turn her into a Darth? She was definitely going in there to get yelled at, or possibly murdered herself. So she pulled something in there to make it so that she wouldn't be. And not only that, promoted. And especially in that cutscene previously, he was saying, you know that's not how it works. You don't just kill a Darth and get his spot. So something happened. And then there's this dream business. Apparently, dreams are when the Force speaks most strongly to us. I don't think I've ever heard a line like that before. Usually, when people get Force visions, sometimes they just literally come out of nowhere. Other times they come after deep meditation. Sometimes when a person comes in contact with a powerful artifact or holocron or something like that. Or maybe like a near-death experience, but I've never heard dreams.
Enjoy your stay.
Do you guys know of any examples of where the Force has spoken through dreams? Like, I have all kinds of weird dreams. Like, the other day, I dreamt I had a really good beard. And I also dreamt that I bought some succulent cactuses in little pots, and they were really cute. Those don't seem to be Force dreams at all, I'm gonna guess. Hopefully I don't particularly want to grow a beard. But Zash seems to feel very strongly that it was indeed a dream, and a prophetic dream, a dream that would come true. And I'm very curious. In my first playthrough of the Inquisitor story, I played I human female, and she wore kind of dark robes most of the time. She actually looked fairly generic, like if you would just see her in a dream, like you wouldn't know exactly who she was. Maybe you could guess she was female, but that's about it. But if you see Javiik in a dream, he's kind of like a hulking beast. And he's got a really distinctive face, and if he's got his hood off, he's got some really distinctive hair. So I'm wondering if she actually saw Javiik in the dream, because I feel like if you saw him, you would recognize him. Versus my other character, maybe not recognize him. So one way or another, she saw I'm guessing she saw a shadowy figure. To be more specific, otherwise she would know. Alright, so we are finally heading to the Dark Temple. This is the final area on Dromund Kaas, and it is a very cool area.
I've sent 3 separate expeditions into the Dark Temple. Not one has returned. I can't say for sure what's going on, but people who go in there, they don't come back.
What makes you say that?
Sounds I heard coming out of that place would send a Rancor running, if it was smart enough to run. You can survive the Dark Temple. I beg you to do me, and more importantly, the Empire a favor. The expeditions I sent in were looking for specific data. I can spare the manpower, they were slaves mostly, but the data is essential.
What kind of data was it?
We were studying a recent increase in seismic activity in the area, including possible damage to the temple itself. The slaves from the expeditions were equipped with data pads to store the data they collected. Bring back those data pads. This information's vital to future construction on Dromund Kaas. It's not glamorous, but will you help?
I wouldn't call it a challenge, but it seems straightforward.
Amazing. Fantastic. Your help is invaluable. I'll mark the location the expedition last signaled from on your map. It's the best I can do.
And when I was originally deciding my roleplay and background story for Javiik, the ones not really attached to the game's story, just kind of like a prelude, I guess you could call it, this temple was one of the other big ideas that I was looking into for his slavery.
At last, the Dark Council has answered my petitions and sent a fine young Sith to help secure the temple.
I'm not here to secure the temple.
Of course, I've been ignored again. How stupid of me. If you're here, however, you must have the authority to enter the Dark Temple. You could still save this planet.
You have my complete, undivided attention.
The Dark Temple is ancient, built during a previous incarnation of our empire. 1,000 years ago, our own emperor buried his enemies here. These enemies remain powerful, even in death, which is why the temple was sealed. But now, something terrible has happened.
I like that little cutaway to the temple. They don't do that very often. Very cinematic shot.
Some idiot went and woke them up.
With the Emperor's attention elsewhere, a group of ambitious but ignorant Sith thought to gain power by raiding the temple. They didn't find the relics they sought. Instead, they awoke an ancient Sith Lord, Lord Calig, and their expedition plunged into madness.
Don't think we heard about Lord Calig yet. Some relics and stuff in there too.
Are they still in there?
The ones who still live, yes. Because Lord Calig died by ambush, I believe he awakened unaware of his own death, and his expectations became reality for those around him. His power overwhelmed all inside the temple, and even now the workers plot wars against each other, believing themselves Sith Lords, and drawing terrible power from Calig himself.
Are there more dead Sith Lords in there?
Ah, you begin to see the crisis. There are still more ancient Sith Lords whose spirits lay dormant in the temple. If the ancient Sith Lords are woken by the violence within, they could overrun Dromund Kaas.
Maybe I should leave as a possible option.
Let's keep them napping.
I have studied all of the burial chambers within. Each was made with the same ancient design, one we can exploit. If you fuse the 500-kilogram hinges on each tomb door, even a violent assault should not be able to wake the ancients.
What exactly does this entail?
The team I sent in earlier was using a massive metal torch. Effective, but slow, I'm afraid. They did not make it far. The torch must be recovered, and the doors of the ancients sealed.
That's really neat. I've been to this temple a couple of times. You have to go there on all the Imperial characters, but I don't think I remember ever actually picking up the quest that explained exactly why the temple was so full of crazy people and full of Sith business and all kinds of crazy stuff. Whoa. What's going on over here? Oh, there's just someone kicking butt. The answer's that. Alright, we've picked up quite a few quests along the way, but it looks like they are all directly in the temple, so we will just head straight there. And we'll just sneak our way there. We don't need to fight anybody. And to go back to the server merges that I was talking about earlier, like I said, as more people leave the game and new players know exactly what servers they should go join for the max efficiency, max amount of people, they sometimes merge the servers into one like larger server so that the two smaller groups actually have someone to play with. And this has happened once or twice in the past. The Australian servers got merged in, and there was also another time where they just did a major server merge in general. What else do we gotta do here? Oh, we can go kill guys too. That's always a good way to use a quest. Kambal says, dark energies here, a good place for a feast. Kambal, why you gotta eat everybody? And recently there has been more and more talk about server merges. I was with my guild on one of the quietest servers currently in the game, Jungma, about 2 or 3 years ago? I don't remember exactly how long, but we got to a point where we couldn't find new members to join the guild to replace people who slowly had to leave due to like real life or obligations, interest in the game, stuff, normal stuff, nothing like drastic. And we also were having trouble just finding basic people to run with us when we were a few people short. And we were like a very well-known guild too, one of the largest on the server, well known for being friendly and not like a nonsense issue to join up for groups and stuff like that. And we just couldn't find the people anymore. So over 100+ people in my guild decided to move en masse all the way to Ebon Hawk. Like, it was a crazy move, and it was awesome for us because we finally had people to play with. We got a codex entry. Hundreds of years ago, the Sith Emperor ordered the construction of the Dark Temple as a burial place for his dead and defeated enemies, to aid them in becoming one with the Force. Little is known of the rituals the Emperor performed there, but the Dark Temple has become a nexus of powerful dark side energy, and a place where ancient weapons and ancient secrets of the Sith lay sealed away in cavernous chambers. Although the Dark Temple grounds have always been a dangerous place for the weak-willed, the expansion of the Caas city power-grid until the tunnels beneath the temple drove 1,000 slaves mad. The temple itself remained sealed until recently, when an expedition of power-hungry Sith lords and their servants breached the gateway. The Dark Council did not sanction this intrusion, nor did it punish the rogue Sith. No one returned from the expedition to punish. Violent electrical storms surrounded the temple for the first week after it was opened, and since then, additional expeditions have been sent by the Council to determine the temple's status. Their reports have not been made public. Well, that had all kinds of neat tidbits about the temple. I like the little electrical... 1,000 slaves gone mad just trying to put in the electrical lines. Oh, that was a person, not a bad guy. Sorry, random bounty hunter. That was probably them challenging me to a duel. I'm so sorry. I'm a peaceful cat. So, as I said, my guild of 100+ people decided to move to the Ebon Hawk, the server that I'm actually on right now. And we were very, very happy and pleased with the move. But it did actually come with a lot of sacrifices to gain, well, other people to play with. We had to give up our entire flagship, and a flagship is like kind of like a stronghold, like a player housing that you can decorate, but it's only for guilds. And we contributed to it to buy it as a guild all together with huge donations from so many people just to unlock a basic flagship. It costs 50 million credits, 50, 0000000. That is a lot of credits. Even now, when credits are quite inflated, that is a lot of credits. And not only that, we had our flagship, like, multiple rooms unlocked, multiple decorations, special decorations unlocked for the flagship. It was a really huge thing to lose. Kemval says this place reeks of death. And even with that, we were like, yeah, that's a small price to pay for what we could gain in moving. And one of the other big things that we lost individually was some of us lost our names. The white-haired trooper that you see sometimes in the Academy videos, that's my main character, she lost her name, and it was a very simple 4-letter word name, not a common name, but someone happened to already have it, and when we transferred, I didn't get to keep it. I had to add an apostrophe, and that was pretty sad. Some people lost names that they've cherished over the years. Like, I also lost a couple of my other less loved characters' names, and I had some really cool ones, like on our quiet server, because I happened to snag some really good ones because it was easier to do. Like, I literally had the character name Sun, S-U-N, on that server, and obviously I couldn't pick it up on the busy server. Some smart person had already used it. It's okay, that was just a leveling character. I didn't care about it. But another thing you lose when you transfer servers is your stronghold. You have to pay the initial unlock cost again, and for the more special strongholds like Tatooine and Yavin 4, that's like 2 million, possibly 2.5 million credits. It's no cheap sum. And the good news is any like additional rooms you unlocked, they're still there. But your house is completely undecorated. You have the decorations, but you would have to actually go through the trouble of putting them down again. And many of my guildmates have spent time like really giving their strongholds in the flagship a lot of love, and some people just after they move were like, screw it, I don't want to redecorate again, it's not worth it. So that was a big loss as well. And then of course, hey, we can get our torch, so we'll seal those doors closed. There was just the sheer cost of moving. It costs right now, and then as well, server transfers costed 90 cartel coins. Luckily, that's actually not a huge amount. If you are a subscriber, you get 5 times that much each month. But there was 100 of us, give or take, at the time. More as people trickled back and had to come find us on the new server. And I would say people averaged around 5 characters each. Like, some people only have 1 or 2, some people had like 10, some people had way too many. Some people in my guild now have like 50 plus characters, it's crazy. And so they had to transfer each of them, or as many as they wanted to bring. I just left some behind because I didn't care about them enough to pay for it. Oh, here we go. Which quest is this? Search for the lost expedition. Hello, creepy guy.
Do you dare approach the great Nil Venerus, Lord of the Sith, Master of the Undying Darkness? Answer me. What insolence brings you to this place, slave?
Don't call me a slave. Wait, is this the guy I'm supposed to humble myself down to? I'm thinking probably not.
You don't look like a Sith Lord, and you wear a slave collar.
What? You're not afraid of me? You aren't a mindless puppet like the rest of them? I don't understand.
Oh my.
What's happening here?
I'm not sure. I was part of an expedition sent by the Empire to measure strange activity in the Dark Temple. But soon after we entered, we all became different people. I became the mighty Lord Venerus, and the others became my obedient followers and servants.
Wait. You said you were part of an expedition.
We were gathering data for the Empire, and then we were all suddenly possessed. It's strange that you seem to be unaffected. In fact, it's strange to find you here at all. I thought the Imperials gave up sending people in here. What exactly are you doing here?
Ran out of people to send.
I was sent after your expedition.
So the Imperials haven't given up on getting their precious data after all. This is lucky. You see, Ever since I came to my senses, I've been worried that my followers will begin to doubt my leadership. I can't lose my power. I can't go back to being a slave. But maybe we can help each other.
You have my complete, undivided attention.
All I ask is that you find the symbols of Lord Venerous's power. They were looted from his tomb by the people possessed by Venerous's enemies. The symbols will help me reinforce my followers' belief in me, lock them in their dream.
If there's something fancy with actual force powers, I'm keeping them for myself, but if they're just worthless artifacts, he can probably have them.
It seems you've only left me the one option if I want that data.
Please, just think a while about my offer. Be careful. Venerous's old enemies will put up a good fight.
Recover the symbols of power. Is there a guy up there? Oh yeah, there's a possessed slave. Okay, where is this crazy lighting coming from? You can see like flashes of lightning or something. Maybe it's from, are these cracks? Cracks in the ceiling? We've heard there was lots of earthquakes that the temple's been dealing with. So, as I said, my guild moved, and it was quite an expensive move. It had a high cost, high amount of things we lost, and also just a pain in general to figure out where the heck we were going, because I was actually in charge of our Star Wars guild at the time, and I really wanted to make sure we moved somewhere that everybody agreed upon and that it was actually something everybody liked. I didn't want to just make the decision blindly and say, we're moving! So there was like probably at least a month's worth of discussion, and we did as much as we could to let everyone know we were moving, especially people who weren't playing recently. We left messages everywhere. we changed, I think, the name of the guild bank tabs to move to Ebon Hawk or something silly like that. But there's, I'm sure, other people who did not feel that high cost was worth it. And of course there's all kinds of other reasons you might not want to move or be transferred. Losing your character name is pretty, maybe not traumatic, maybe that's a little dramatic, but it's really sad. I was pretty sad to lose mine, and at least I was able to get a similar name. Maybe if you have a really kind of common name, you wouldn't even be able to get something that's remotely similar. This guy looks cool, I'm gonna fight him. But on the same time, there are people who are maybe haven't played for years, a year or two, and come back to the game on their original server. That was fine when they left it, and they're like, oh my god, there's literally only like 2 people on the fleet. What's going on? The game must be dead, because maybe they don't even know that there's other servers if they're a newer player, or they don't know that the other servers would be any different, because the only way you'd really know is by having a character on those servers that you actively play, and it has to be like high enough level that you can access the fleet to check around. So there's players coming into the game and saying, why is the game dead? And everyone on the active servers is saying, it's not dead, you just don't know. And for everyone that asks, and actually asks in like maybe general chat or on Reddit or in the comments or whatever, there's probably about 10 people that just log in and say, oh, game's dead, I'm done. They don't even bother asking. Maybe they don't know that it's a question worth asking. We have our Sons of Power. No, we need 2 more. And so there's always a really good reason to merge those smaller servers so that people have more people to play with. New players joining don't join a dead game. And then there's also reasons not to merge it, or issues that could be resolved, maybe. Like things like having the flagship actually transfer over, but things like guild names, character names, there's only going to be 1 of each. There's no true resolution to it. There's like workarounds, and that's many ideas people have talked about are like, maybe you are allowed to pick a unique last name that is only for your account, like your legacy name can only be yours or something like that. Maybe your character name is actually Javiik at the Ebon Hawk or Bob at the Harbinger, and that's like your full character name. So you could have Bob at the Ebon Hawk, Bob at the Harbinger, Bob at the wherever else. And many other games now actually have you technically have numbers in your name, so your name would be like Javiik.5432, but as you're playing, it only shows up at Javiik, but when people go to mail you, they have to actually mail the correct ones. So they do that by like adding your friend list or something like that. It's different from game to game, and this has been a more popular option in new types of programs so that Javiik can be used literally infinite times for a name. I personally don't love that one because I actually like the idea of names being Javiik, so when I'm playing with someone who's named Bob or Javiik, I know it's always them. I don't have to remember their numbers. I can come to recognize people and players over time a little better. But it does mean that without that lack of originality, everybody can have their dream name. So if you guys all wanted to be Javiik, you could have it, and you could be Javik's Guild, and there could be 10 guilds named Javik's Guild. And nobody has to fight over names or anything like that. And then on top of that, there is apparently people who really enjoy being on a part of a small server. And this was actually something that I liked about Ebonhawk a lot back when it was still alive enough to do all the things that we wanted to do. And it was really cool because you really got to know the people there. Like, I knew most of the, or at least was aware of, if not knew personally, literally all the guilds on our server that were over like 20 people. You know, actually ones that aren't just friendly guilds that die out overnight. And that is because there was only so many. There, if you were running Conquest, you would know exactly who you're going to fight against.
My network of spies reports that you crushed my enemies underfoot and found the symbols of power I requested.
We have a deal. I expect you to honor it.
I had not forgotten. I, too, have been very busy. Here is the data my servants collected before the temple transformed them. Let the Empire make of it what they will.
I am most grateful.
You're welcome. Oh, and there's one last itty-bitty little thing you can do. You see, power is useless without subjects. So I'd be grateful when you turn in the data, you'd encourage the Imperials to send more expeditions my way.
You're crazy.
You're really every bit as conniving as the real thing, you know that?
Yes. I do think I've finally found my true calling. I can assure you, my gratitude if you send more slaves to be my followers will not be insubstantial.
He is exactly like a Sith, a little bit of a sniveling Sith, but I think we should take him on as our apprentice. Come on, Dorian. Let's, and no, you don't want to come? All right, okay. I'll go on by myself. That was a fun, silly quest. I like that one. I imagine Javik's like creeped the heck out in here. Like if you've taken a look, there's like, oh my gosh. Oh, that's just a person, not a blue ghost. There's like freaky cobwebs everywhere. There's lights that glow green. There's like raving lunatics. Well, Javik's apparently used to raving lunatics that are possessed by now. This is just a thing in his life he's probably come to accept, because we had a whole bunch on Korriban too. That probably shocked him, but now he's just like, not again. I'd like to meet some slaves that aren't possessed. Back to server merges. And so there's a lot of issues to merge or not to merge is the question. And it is up to the devs to decide how to do it, how much, oh this is cool, how much effort they want to put into it. And lately they seem to have put in, I just wanted to look at you guys. Oh, she's a really cool looking Sith. They've been putting more and more public thought and interest into it, and I think that's been really cool to see from them, especially since, like I said, people come into the game and they're like, is it dead? Is the game dying? And recently we got that new lead producer, Keith Koenig, and he's really encouraged and actually acted on the idea of lots of communication. And it's been really nice to see his and more posts by the community manager, Eric Musco, and even random posts from other developers on the team. It's nice to see them communicating. And so what my whole point was is that they made a post recently, specifically Keith Koenig did, and said, someone was asking about the server merges again. I know you all know this, but I'll remind you anyway. If a server merge was the direction, then we need to make sure we understand the reasons why players don't want to move. We have hardware / software, connectivity, and database considerations. We have tons of in-game things to consider. No. Don't want to talk to you, Tulak. In-game things to consider. We have legacy. We have cargo holds and slots across multiple servers, decorations and strongholds, currency caps, merging of the legacies, number of characters on a server, keeping guilds together, and guild assets intact, and more. You also have the conquest and the domination of large guilds over everyone else, area respawn rates, and so on. Lastly, as we've done with our East Coast servers, we need to upgrade the environment to ensure it's a great experience for everyone. I can't only read and attack. I am very hopeful that I can lay out the game plan for you in the upcoming roadmap. I'm not committing to that just yet, as there are a number of questions I need answered before I can give you any further insight. So, basically what I'm getting at is it's in a very interesting conversation with the developers, between the players and the developers about server merges, and I have learned of so many things that they need to pay attention to when doing a server merge that have not come up before. And when they did the original server merges, there was so much less stuff in the game. Like half the stuff that exists now didn't even exist back then, and they've really pumped up the legacy system and seal the doors. And the legacy system has lots of new stuff too, and like for example, just a really simple, not simple to solve, but simple to understand problem. I'm a free-to-play player. I'm only allowed to hold 200,000 credits. And I'm only allowed to have 2 characters. This is the key one. I can only have 2 characters total on a server. What happens when I merge servers? Will I be able to have 2 and keep that limitation, or will I suddenly get 4? What if I only had 2? I can suddenly make 2 new free ones. What if I had 2 characters on 20 different servers? Do I suddenly get 40 on this new server that I'm getting merged to? It's just like, how do they decide for every single issue that comes up? It's a huge process.
Enter and hear me. You mustn't kneel. I would gain no satisfaction from it. So, you've finally found our hidden temple. It's long since time. The followers of the Dark Path battle my forces, and your cruelty is needed.
This temple isn't exactly hidden. There's a path from Cathar City.
Do you mock me? No one finds this temple nor this planet by accident, nor without my approval, for I am Lord Farshal. I oversaw this temple's construction, and I have ruled the jungle ever since. Now you will serve me.
You look more like a workman than a Sith.
My robes and helm were won in battle against Lord Vacuous. My lightsaber burns with the light of a star, and you dare question me? Now do as I require, and the riches of the temple will be yours. The teachings of the Dark Path lured my apprentice Anyara away, but I will have her back. You will retrieve her from the temple depths.
I don't understand. What's the Dark Path?
How can you not know? The other Dark Lords founded the path to lure away my students. I do not know how my rivals reached my apprentice, but I know where she went. The Dark Path hides near here. Kill the followers of the Dark Path. Fight your way to their altar, and Anyara must confront you. Do this, or be punished by my power.
I make no guarantees.
Then we shall see what becomes of you. The followers of the Dark Path are not far. Go, and I will await you.
My lightsaber burns with the light of a star. I like this little plot line. Go find Anyara. I wonder if she's been possessed as well. She's a different slave that's been possessed. But yeah, in general, if you're choosing a server, definitely... Ah! What's going on? Oh, they're trying to get out! If you are trying to pick a server now, and you would like to pick a server with other people on it, it's definitely good to look up what servers are populated, because if you pick Jungma or say Prophecy of the Five, you're going to have a sad time trying to find other people. Right now, really easy choice is if you want the most populated server and you're in North America, like you're American or you're Canadian or down in Mexico, you would want to pick Harbinger. Just super simple. Like I said, I'm on Ebon Hawk and I like it, but Harbinger is definitely bigger. But things might change and might matter less with the server merges on the horizon. Or server
Hello,
something.
stranger. My internal chronometer tells me it has been exactly 963 years since this hologram was made. Have the Sith truly lived in fear of me for so long?
Who are you?
I am, or was, Cathar, a born Sith and follower of the Force. Like so many before me, I challenged the Emperor and was buried in this temple. Fortunately, I had just enough time to make this, an interactive image that would transmit my secrets to whomever was bold enough to find my tomb and unlock it.
Actually, I was trying to seal up this door for good.
Then it's true. The Sith still cower in fear of insignificant me. The way of the Sith lies in channeling the Force through the use of powerful emotions. Fear is the chief of these. The Sith feed on palpable dread.
What's the secret then?
It's a lie. Fear is a lie. Passion, a lie. Fear gives temporary power, and passion is easily manipulated. Real strength in the Force comes when one is no longer afraid. And one can purge fear when one stops grasping after power, after things, after life itself, and allows the Force to guide him. There is only the Force.
Oh, this sounds kind of familiar.
What do you mean? There's only the Force.
Just that. Everything there is, life and death alike, is wrapped up in the Force. What I learned only lives on through this image and its device. Yet I am one with the Force, eternal and at peace. Take them. Take my teachings to the Sith. They will find power there, but a different kind. Not of darkness, but light.
This is very interesting. He's basically telling the tenets of the Jedi, but from the way he speaks, it sounds like he maybe never even talked to a Jedi before. So you can give them the teachings, and that's the light side, or you can destroy the teachings, and that's the dark side option. But you could teach them about the light side, but I don't think anyone would be interested. Any Sith who has any inkling of what a Jedi is this day and age knows that that is full baloney. I wish I could mail them to the Jedi or something. Mail them home to Alderaan. So I'm actually going to destroy them, because I don't really feel like this is something that the Sith should have. I don't want them gaining power, not really. Unless I was giving it to Lord Zash, but it doesn't seem to be an option.
These heresies must be destroyed.
Then do so. Strike out against knowledge and see what comes of it. If you destroy these teachings, the light does not go out. Remember, fear is not the only way.
I like that little nod he gave at the end. Let's see where we gotta go. Oh, just across the way. I feel like more and more you guys kept saying things like Javiik will follow the light side and the dark side of the Force, and it's a very kind of cliche thing, especially with Revan in this era, but there seems to be a lot of quests that point towards that idea, because we talked to the Revanites and we just had that quest. I'm guessing there's going to be less as we get off Dromund Kaas, you know, the capital of the Sith and Force users and the Empire and all that. Wacha! Oh, I love that lightning move that hits everyone at once. That is some beautiful chain lightning. I forgot I took my lightsaber totally off my bar. Oh, other news. I mentioned that the PvP ranked rewards for those who do the very hardest PvP content in the game are now out. And it's people are some like them, some don't. Most people are just kind of cranky that they didn't show up earlier. so that people knew what they had to earn and how long they had to earn it. Basically, even if you wanted the top tiers, if you started right now, it'd be, from what I understand, next to impossible to actually earn them in time, no matter how much you played. I just want to ask. Too many things to kill. I just want to go in. We've got a class quest to do. Don't hinder my progress. Here, Kembal, come meet her. She's in my way. Alright, let's go. Kill her, Kembal! Oh, Kimbal's just back there healing. Okay, there we go. Oh, we still got a ways to go. My goodness gracious. Something else that I thought was interesting was when we were in that cantina earlier, meeting Lord Zash, and she was talking to those people she called Del. The lady said she married a Mandalorian. How disgraceful. Does anyone care about the Sith blood lineage anymore? And I thought it was especially funny because Lord Zash has an apprentice, aka me, who is literally the opposite of Sith blood. I'm just a slave, nothing more, nothing less. Got some parents from Alderaan. Beyond that, don't really know. Maybe I'm of royal blood, but doesn't really matter. Maybe I'm related to Alderaanian nobility. It's neat. Some of these people have lightsabers, and some of them just have training swords. These are the Dark Path adepts, and they just have the training swords. This is a Dark Path Inquisitor. Just like me. And just mowing our way through. I really want to get to that class quest. Alright. Almost there. I'm surprised that Kembal hasn't been more talkative. Especially because we're supposed to be going after Tulak horror related stuff. Alright, here we go. Bonus completed. If we could sneak around these guys, we would, but since we can't, let's just kill them. Alright, here we go. Come on, Kembal, it's time for some very solid story.
Stay back! I don't know you. You aren't of the Dark Path. She whispers to me, tells me to go back to Lord Farshall, that I belong to Farshall, but it's wrong! Something's wrong!
This is the apprentice.
You must be Lord Farshall's apprentice. He sent me to find you.
Yes. No. I was someone else. Before I came to the temple, I was powerful, I was Sith. But she keeps saying I'm an apprentice. Just an apprentice. And I hate her. But my hate isn't making me strong enough.
Remember the Sith code. Focus on the words.
Yes. Through passion I gain strength. Through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall free me.
She says she's Anyara. She says we serve Farshall. She says there's no city out there, just jungle. Tell me who's right. Am I the temple apprentice Anyara, or is she lying? Is a city outside real?
Wow, you could just send her right back to him. That's horrible.
Kaas City is real. It's where you're from. This temple is all wrong.
I knew it! Curse her! She's still in my head, but she's my enemy, and I am Sith. I can defeat her. I will.
Is there nothing I can do to help?
No. I'm struggling, but I'm also remembering. It takes concentration.
I came from Kaas City, like you. But the temple makes people think strange things, remember being different people. I'm not an apprentice. That workman, he isn't Lord Farshall. But we thought we were. We played the roles. We even had the power.
Were your friends here possessed too?
These people, they were slaves. Archaeologists. All of them sent in from the city. All of them influenced. I don't know how long my mind will stay my own, so I need to leave here now.
I won't keep you. Leave the temple to me.
As you wish, my lord. But I suggest you finish quickly.
Ah, that was a cool one. Now you can go tell the Lord. Oh, Kimball did some type of healing thing in me. It looked like I got cursed or something. You can go tell the Lord that his little Miss Lady apprentice wandered off. I'm glad we were able to help her. It seems like a horrible way to go. It's bad enough if you're already a slave and you're told to be an apprentice. At least that's a bit of an upgrade, right? But to go down from a Sith to an apprentice and someone telling you all these things that aren't true but they're inside your head, that's a creepy way to go. I think I do want to get the heck out of this temple. Where's my class quest? Right over there. Let's see if we can do some sneaky. Surprised I haven't found any lore objects around here. I can only imagine there should be some hidden around the temple. I wonder what he's gonna say.
Ah, my spies tell me you found the Dark Path, and it seems you survived their fury. Did you find Anyara? Did you see my apprentice there?
Oh, let's see. You can say she was killed. And say just no. She's not what you claimed. Oh. Let's see. Let's say she was killed. At least he won't keep trying to find her.
I found her. But she didn't make it back. The Dark Path got her.
I am disappointed. I thought you would serve me better. But perhaps Anyara was already lost. You may leave with your life. Take this reward, a token in acknowledgement of your efforts, and go.
I'm sorry it had to end like this.
Do not try my patience. Go from here now.
What's the trinket he gave me? He gave me some XP and some influence with Kimball. I always wanted that trinket. Actually, he gave me some credits. He's just... Level 23! Yay! Someone killed him, so I don't have to. Ha! Leveling up is really fast still. Still shocked about how many levels I gain when I just go out and do the normal quests. Because there's all kinds of ways you can like maximize your XP, you can like give yourself XP boosts, you can do like the heroic quests once a day if you want, you can, or once a week, once a day, I'm not sure. Here, let's send Kimball off.
White Wajans.
Come here, I need you to sell stuff.
Ufal
Kimball?
alesi rekejeja. White Wajans.
Thanks, Kimball. Oh, is this safe to do without Kimball? I guess we'll find out. Creepy. This is our actual class quest. Ooh, skeleton. There's some really nice creepy music in the background. Sorry, Kimball. No! Come back, Kimball! I need you! I need you here right now! Not in 30 seconds! That was a horrible life choice! I've got 20 seconds to tell you about something. I heard somewhere that free-to-play players actually got 3 characters, and there was a recent update that did that, and I was so excited I logged in today to check it to see if it was true, and the answer was no. Free-to-play players only get 2 characters. If you're on a free-to-play account, make 1 Republic and 1 Imperial character, and when your companion comes back from selling trash, go press the button!
I felt your movements in the Force, and they stirred me from my nightmare. I am still too weak to leave, but I knew if I made myself enough of a nuisance, you would eventually come. The Sith throw flesh endlessly at what they cannot control. And here you are, blood of my blood. Here you are.
I'm guessing this is probably the guy that I'm supposed to humble myself towards. And this is probably the point in the story that those of you who have played the Inquisitor story before have been looking forward to.
What are you talking about?
Ah, you don't know me. Has our family fallen so far that the son of my sons does not know the name of Calig, the name so long revered in the annals of the Sith? You are my descendant. By how many generations I do not know. But know this, your strength in the Force has awakened me from my stupor.
What do you mean, I awakened you?
When the weaklings of this planet trespassed my tomb, I rose, resuming my former life. This temple became my kingdom, and I was once more a lord of the Sith. But when you first grasped the hilt of your lightsaber, I knew my hour had come and gone. That your strength, not mine, would return our family to glory.
But I'm a former slave.
That is my shame. I was once one of the greatest lords of the Sith. If I'd been wiser, I could have secured my family's greatness. But I let down my guard and was betrayed by a man called Tulak Hord, whom I trusted as a friend.
Places Amin's why
And yet you speak as if alive. I will serve my master well to correct him.
Your master is dead, beast. You serve the child of Calig now. Flesh of my flesh, you should teach your servant to obey.
I will deal with him as I see fit.
Fair enough. I only caution you not to take obedience for granted. In restoring our bloodline to glory, you must not make the same mistake. Treachery is the Sith's endless game. You must win it.
I couldn't care less about our bloodline.
Fool! You think that you have risen to power in spite of your nothingness. But your nothingness must have had a purpose. And when that purpose is exhausted, you will go back to being nothing. Beware your master. Beware your apprentice. Never be taken by surprise. Do these things, and you will be unstoppable. But you have not come to see me. You have come for the artifact I managed to wrest from Tulak Hord before he died. Take the artifact, but be careful. I know not what it does. Only that betrayal follows it everywhere.
I'll use caution.
I hunger for the day when our power will be restored. We will meet again.
Well, that was certainly a cutscene. Let's get that Tulax artifact. I'm laughing because when they have the cutscenes, they only have so many animations set up, and sometimes they do unique one-off ones, like obviously the animation of pushing off this casket. This grave was done just for this grave, but when he went to go pick it up, he picked it up, and the animation preset was that he put it in his pocket. So he took something of Tulak Hord's special artifact and put it in his pocket. I think now would be a good time to end this, and we will be able to talk to possibly Lord Zash on the next episode of The Wonder of Star Wars The Old Republic. Thank you for joining me for this very special episode where we finally found out our true bloodline. Bye guys, see you later.